Today we are popping the top on a whiskey I've been wanting to open up for quite a while, so let's not waste any time and let's get into it. Hey everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today here on Blind Whiskey Reviews, the most honest reviews on YouTube. As always, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and click that bell notification. That way you'll know every time I'm uploading a new video and every time I'm starting a new live stream. Today, I have the pleasure of bringing you a whiskey, like I said, that I've been wanting to try for a long time. I've had this bottle for quite a while. I've been waiting to crack it for a review, and that day is finally here. So today, we're going to be getting into the not so newly released Old Ezra 7-year barrel proof. So this is their barrel strength whiskey, which is bottled at 58.5%, 117 proof. It is 7 years old, as stated on the bottle, and it is charcoal mellowed. So I have always been a fan of the Old Ezra 7-year 101 proof. I thought that was a good whiskey. It was in the low to mid $20 range, which made it a reasonable value, and it was just a really good tasting, easy drinking whiskey. So I always liked that one. It took me actually a while to source this bottle, and I don't know how it is for you guys, but for me, this does not show up often. It's right about in the $40 to $45 range, and it's just difficult to get your hands on. As soon as it hit the shelves, it's gone. It doesn't come in very often, so it took me a while to get my hands on this bottle. I've had it for a few months, and now I'm finally able to get to this review. So let's not waste any more time, and let's pop the top on this bottle of Old Ezra. So like I said, I'm a big fan of the other releases of the Old Ezra that they discontinued, which was the 101 proof 7-year-old. Let's see how this pop goes. Pretty good pop. Natural cork. A little bit of aroma coming off the bottle, not too much. Pour ourselves a little bit of whiskey, and let's get into it. So I was a little concerned with the rebranding. You never know what's going to happen. In this case, they obviously upped it. 16 proof to the 117 proof mark. It was at 101. So you're definitely getting a little bit more proof on it. It's the same age, and it increased in price about $15 to $20, which is a considerable hike in price. But if the quality remains, and this is as good of a quality as the other Old Ezra release was, I don't know that I'm gonna have a problem with that. I think it's a good value. You know, a $40 to $45 barrel strength whiskey in these days is a good price. So you really can't get mad at that. So let's get into the nose here. Color-wise, we got a nice dark amber, kind of bordering on those mahogany type notes, type colors. Nose is slightly unimpressive at first smell here. It's just a little bit of light fruit, a little bit of apple, a little bit of citrus maybe. There's almost a slight nuttiness to it. Like a hidden kind of berry character. You've got a little bit of like a dark cherry or strawberry, you know, kind of like these kind of berry-ish notes. There's definitely a nuttiness on the nose, a slight hint of oak. But they're all pretty mild notes. They're not really exploding out at you. So obviously this is a fresh cracked bottle. As always, I never recommend judging a whiskey based on the first pour, but we got to tell you what to expect when you open the bottle, and we'll definitely be doing a blind review down the line after this bottle's been open for a few weeks to give it that opportunity to open up. So that will be coming as well. I don't know when the blind review will be coming, but we'll be pouring that sample in a few weeks. Let's get into the taste though. Cheers. So at first taste, I mean, the one note that's really kind of exploding at me is this nutty quality, this peanut quality. It almost has a Jim Beam-esque quality to it. And had you given me this blind, I probably would have told you this is a Jim Beam whiskey. I mean, it has that many similarities to Jim Beam. And really that nuttiness is what's really screaming Jim Beam to me. Get another taste. All right, so this one's kind of in a weird space for me, and again, we need to let it open up and see what it does, but for right now, first pour, freshly cracked bottle, it's a little tame on the flavors. The flavors that are here are good and well balanced. I like what I'm tasting. It's just not overly complex. And to be honest, I mean, would you expect that out of a 7-year-old $40 to $45 whiskey? Yeah, probably not. You know, it's definitely living up to what I would expect it to be. It's not overly harsh. There's a little bit of a teeny bite on the tongue. It's got a nice warming effect to it to bring some of that flavor to you, but those flavors aren't as complex as I may like them to be at the moment. There's a little bit of that light fruit on the tongue. In the mid palate, you're really just overwhelmed with these nutty characters, this peanut, this toasted pecan kind of character. Towards the back, you get a little bit of that oaky, tannic bitterness. A couple of those like standard kind of bourbon notes, your brown sugar, your caramel, your maybe like a little bit of a leathery quality. And one more taste. There's a little bit of a red fruity quality that I'm picking up. I'm transitioning kind of from the front to the mid palate. It's not very overwhelming. Like I said, it quickly gets overwhelmed by kind of this nutty character. But I kind of feel like once this whiskey opens up, that's going to come forward a little bit more. But it's definitely there. So far, I think it's very good. And like I said, for the price point, so far, it's kind of living up to what I would expect from it. But let's give it a little bit of time in this glass, let it open up just a touch to kind of give us some hints as to what's going to happen as this bottle has a few weeks to open up or even a few months. So just to get an idea of what it's going to do, we're going to do that. Give it 20 to 30 minutes, and I will come back to you with those notes. Stay tuned. All right, so the whiskey's been in the glass for right about 20 minutes. Let's get back into it and see if it's opened up a little bit. It smells about the same on the nose. I mean, still just this humongous punch of this nutty character with a little bit of sweetness kind of hiding behind it. Let's get into the taste. Didn't change very much. I mean, a lot of those same notes I was picking up before. A little bit of light fruit in the front. There's this red fruit character that I really like as it transitions to mid palate, and I just wish that would come forward a little bit more. In the 20 minutes it's been in the glass, it hasn't. But let's hope that in a few weeks of this bottle being open, then I'll start to come forward a little bit more, because it would really just help round this thing out, take a little bit of that nuttiness away, which is a little bit overwhelming at this point, and really just make this a little bit more complex and tasty whiskey. Now, again, don't get me wrong. I think this is really good. I think it is pretty well balanced. I think it is very easy drinking, especially for the proof at 117 proof. But let's get one more taste before I give you my final judgment. I'm getting a few more characters I'm finding that are hiding in there. Very faint little notes of them. A little bit of extra vanilla here, a little bit of a nice crisp red apple, a little bit of molasses, a little bit of oak on the back end. The oak's not hiding, but it's there. A little bit of that tannic bitterness to kind of balance it out. I think there's some potential here. I think this could be really good. I truly think it needs to open up though. So for me, you've heard a lot of the things I had to say about it. They're not really changing from the beginning to now, but I think it's a nice whiskey. I think it tastes good. I like the flavors that are here. I wish there was a few more of them, and I wish a few of them that are hiding in the background would come to the forefront. That would really make this a bit more complex whiskey, a little better balanced whiskey, and really just make it a more enjoyable drinking experience. Now, that being said, what is here is good. It tastes it goes well together. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a little bit overwhelmed by this kind of nutty character. Again, for the price point, like I said, I think I paid $42 for this bottle. I'm not mad at it. I mean, at 117 proof, 7-year age stated whiskey for $42, it does what it's supposed to do. So based on that, it should get a really high score. Now, just based on the whiskey itself, I'm going to give this one a preliminary score of an 86. I think it is very good, very solid. I think it will be better. And I truly think that. I think with a few weeks of airtime on this bottle, some of those other characters will get the opportunity to come to the forefront and really just balance this thing out a little bit better. But it is surprisingly tasty and surprisingly easy drinking. So it has those things going for it. If it could just build up a little bit more balance and not be so on that nutty side heavy, it's really going to be a fantastic whiskey. And based on what I've heard other people say about this whiskey, I have very high hopes that it's going to open up and turn into something really, really amazing. So you got to tell me, if you've had the opportunity to try the Old Ezra 7-year barrel strength, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your opinions and what you think this whiskey turns into after it's gotten a little bit of airtime, because I definitely have high hopes for it improving. As always, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at blind_reviews. You can also catch me on Instagram at Mission Bottle Kill, where I'm posting pictures of people killing all kinds of amazing bottles of whiskey. So if you'd like me to repost your pick, make sure you tag at Mission Bottle Kill in the post. If you'd like, you can also send me an email at blindwhiskeyreviews, that's whiskey with an E, @gmail.com. And until next time, cheers.